Alright folks, I'm back, finally. Took a little bit. It's been busy. Sorry, I did my normal thing and did not tweet stuff out. Just gonna leave it. So, recap of where we were. I was making the fourth entertainer in that assassins group. So we have, should zoom in a little bit so we can actually see this. He's like a charmer, schmoozer sort of guy. Really primarily more based around performance than persuasion. Passive perception is going to be 13. And the fact that he can do cool tricks, that sort of thing. So, I'm actually going to commands, scroll it here. Again, this chunk of the backstory is the same. The part that's going to be interesting is going to be his own personal character backstory. How did he end up getting selected for joining the Zavolian troupe? The Zavolian troupe really should be in Barovia. That'd be very gothic horror. So Barovia, Ravenloft is one of the D&D settings that Dungeons and Dragons actually puts out. It is very much gothic horror sort of thing, where everything's just a little bit off, a little bit spooky, a little bit dangerous. Zavolian makes a lot of sense for Barovia. Then the type of word just even sounds, it kind of, to myself anyways, that they are from a similar sort of location. Not so much the really epic high fantasy sort of thing, more the a little bit grittier, not necessarily more realistic, but a little bit grittier sort of thing. So Damian Blackwood, what would his backstory be? Damian Blackwood was the second son of a noble house. With that, he was never going to rule his family's house, but there was always a need to bring honor to his family's name. His father sent him off to the Wizarding Tower, again leaving that purposefully vague, because by just leaving it vague, it allows the DM and myself to collaboratively create this world together. And I'm not forcing the DM into anything, but I am setting up some things for the world, but the detail the DM can bring in, or he can ask, or she can ask me to bring in as I played this character. Damien was a natural student. He picked up magic quickly, focusing on honing his skills of illusion. And I want to flip back here quickly and refresh myself on what he knows. Chill touch, dancing lights, minor illusion, I'm pretty sure is in there. Disguise self. Yeah, disguise self is the one I wanted. One day he made a poor decision and was going to be caught and expelled from the tower. He used his skills and got another member of the school into trouble in his place. Damien thought he was being quite clever. However, the school head, I don't even know what school, the headmaster was able to see through the deception quite easily, and Damien was found out and expelled from the tower. His spell book was taken from him. That's really, really bad as a wizard because you need your spell book to be able to cast. His father heard and refused to take him back home. I'm gonna scroll a little bit. Damien using some of the money that his father had left him, hired a group of thieves to steal back his spellbook. They did so, and Damien, having no other spot to go, asked to join the Zavolian troop. So I'm doing something different here. If you remember from the Dragonborn and from the half-elf, or is he the half-elf? I forget. His race, half-elf. Let me save this quickly. I can explain what I'm doing differently. So what I'm doing differently here is the Wood Elf and the Dragonborn both were asked by Esil to join the Zavolian troop. Damien Blackwood hired the Zavolian troop. He then asked if he could join them after finding out what they did, sorry, I'm trying to move chords around so I can start the next character. But it provides an interesting difference between the two. Damien Blackwood comes from power, comes from a noted situation, yet instead of trying to do something noble with his life, he's looking to join this group and intentionally asks. So that's just a little tweak I wanted to put in to be different. Oh, this one. That's a dumb style. This is for Adventurers League. Weird, there's no spellcasting sheet for this. Attacks and spellcasting, I think they basically just assume that you're going to run something less. Alright. Anyways, that's not what I wanted to go to currently. I wanted to open up the clean sheet here. Save. Aha. Thus far we have 2 elves and a dragonborn. I think for the last one I'm going to do a human. Meredith Weil. Alright, this is human. And I'll zoom in a little bit. Ah, too much. Oh, come on, computer. There we are. Player's name. Probably can't really see it. It's Petter. My name. Alignment is going to be lawful neutral. As a human, you get 30 foot speed. You know Common. I don't believe you know any other language. Oh, and 1 extra language of your choice. And Dwarvish. All our ability scores increased by 1. So, we're going to roll our ability scores, see what we get here. An 11. Not as good as some of the others thus far. That's only 1 roll, I guess, but 13. And keeping in mind that the 13 will be a 14, the 11 will be a 12, 15 will be a 16, that's nice. Another 11. A 14. And then final one, I am going to just do the final one of rolling 3 dice. I actually kind of like this variant that I made up myself because, I mean, it's an 11 still, but it allows for potentially one thing to be lower. So, Meredith Weil is going to have a 15 in dexterity, 12 in strength, 16 in charisma, 12 in wisdom, 14 in constitution, and a 12 in intelligence. So, I mean, it's really nice. We have nothing that's negative. We only have 1 odd number. The 15 in dex. That probably means I'm going to level up. At level 2, I'd probably level up one specific attribute. Like I might do constitution higher or something like that. I'm not going to split it over 2. And there was a reason I put the high number in charisma. It makes sense for her to be a bard. So we have 1d8 and start out with 10 hit points. We know our initiative, +2. As always, we know our proficiency, +2. A bard, level 1. And at first level, we know 4 spells and 2 cantrips. I'm actually not going to jot that down over there. I'm just going to write that down over here. 4 spells, 2 cantrips. Every good entertaining group really does need a bard of some sort, so I had to get that in there eventually. We do get some proficiencies to add down here. Light armor, simple weapons, hand crossbows, long sword, rapier, short sword, lute, flute. We'll do pan flute. Flute and drums. We get to pick any 3 skills to start out with. I'm not going to pick performance. I believe it's performance and acrobatics that we get as an entertainer. I want to zoom in one more time. Go insight, intimidation, and stealth. Sorry, that's a weird angle to see me at. I'm just trying to get it so I can see my screen a little bit better. +3 for that one. 3. +5. +4 on stealth. So I'm going to write down something for the Bardic Inspiration dice first. As a bonus action, you inspired someone around you. For the next 10 minutes, they can choose once before knowing if it hits to add 1d6 to an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw as a bonus. A bonus. So we have this in place. Oh, I forgot to do my saving throw proficiencies. Our dexterity +4, and charisma +5 means we have a +1, +2, +1, and a +1. Just want to check one thing here. Okay, we haven't dropped many frames. My computer's just being noisy, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't overworking somehow. Probably is. Wow, that's weird. Alright. Come on, buddy. We're a bard. We cast spells off of charisma, which is nice. That's a +3. So our normal proficiency plus charisma modifier +8, 13, and then proficiency plus our charisma for +5. We currently at first level have 2 first level spell slots. We know 4 spells, and we know 2 cantrips, but we only have 2 spell slots for it. So let's flip back and look at our bard spells. I'm gonna go 1 utility and 1 offensive spell, I think. Go light, our first cantrip, and then vicious mockery. You say something so mean that people can literally fail a saving throw on it. Charm person. Oh, I should zoom in. That's really hard to see, even for myself on my computer screen. Let's see. And wait for it to catch up. So we have charm person. Sleep. That's a very good one. Comprehend languages. And silent image. Why? I want to give them some magical ability that is going to be at least a little bit helpful with entertainment, a show. So gonna do that. We're actually not gonna do backgrounds today, I don't think. I think we're gonna come back to that tomorrow. Right now, or soon. Right now I'm gonna finish off these traits up here for Meredith Wiles, such as age. She's gonna be 46, a little bit older. Human height starts at 4'8", and she adds another 7 inches to that, so 4'8" plus, so 5'3", and 7 times 2, so 14 extra pounds for that. She's 124 pounds. That seems reasonable. She has green eyes, red hair, that's red skin, red hair, and white. I'm gonna go pale white. Just because actually white skin would be weird. But pale white skin, she's very typical ginger. So, the last part we're going to do today is our shopping trip. As a bard, we get 5d4 times 10. So 1, 3, 4, 5. I'm letting it fall in my hand the same way every time. I got 1s every time because I would have the 1 on top, it would do 1 full flip, and then land. So we're going to do this again, actually shaking it up. 4, 7, 9, 10, 12. So 120 gold pieces to start out with, which is really nice. Yeah. Because as a bard, you really don't need a ton. of things. But you can get more stuff to make it more interesting. So we're going to do leather armor. That subtracts 10 out of our total. So we're at 110. And that also tells us what our armor class is going to be. So 11 plus the dexterity modifier. 11 plus dex is 13. We're not proficient with shields, so we're not going to get a shield. We are going to spend the 25 on a crossbow. So, somebody help me. 110, 85. 85 to get the crossbow. And I'm going to put in the stats for the crossbow as we go. A light crossbow. Crossbow. And 20 darts. Or bolts, I should say. And where's ammunition? Ammunition, 20 bolts costs 1 gold piece, so we're going to be at 84. That does... So we'll start with the range down here. Crossbow range 80, 360, 320. Ranged weapon, it is strength based. So we're going to go light crossbow. But we are proficient with it, so we get a +3 to hit and does damage of 1d8 plus 1 damage. We're also going to spend the money to buy a rapier. I wasn't sure if I was going to, but I think it makes sense. It's another 25 gold pieces. 59. And this is piercing damage. The rapier, because that's finesse, is a +4 to hit, followed by, does 1d8 plus 2 piercing damage. I do expect the crossbow will probably be the one that's, stupid thing, used more often, just because bards can be a little bit squishy. It's going to have an entertainer's pack. It's another 40 gold off, so we're down to 19. And I'm going to just give her a pan flute, because we're going to take the entertainer background again, so she's going to get a musical instrument of some sort that's handy to have. And how much does that cost? Not too much. I wanted to get the climber's kit, but that is too expensive. And she's going to have a bullseye lantern. That's for 10. And that's going to be it. She's actually going to have some money left over. So bullseye and lantern. Not sure if must have it on her lanterns here. It casts light in a 60-foot cone, and dim light an additional 60 feet after that. Oh, she does have to buy some other stuff here. She's going to buy 5 flasks of oil. That takes her down to 8 and 5 silver pieces. So, there we go. We have, I'm going to stop here. It's only been half an hour, but if you have been reading the articles that Kristen and I have been putting up, you will know that we are doing NaNoWriMo. NaNoWriMo is National Novel Writing Month, where you write a 50,000 word story. And I need to get cracking on that. This is only November 3rd. I'm at 8,000 plus words, so I'm doing just fine. But so that I don't accidentally go too long with this, and since I haven't fully fleshed out her backstory in my head yet, I wanted to hop on quickly, stream a little bit, but I need to get to writing. So, let me find that. Peace out. See you next time.